Happy Monday morning. It is December 13th. This is the review for our test, which is tomorrow. This is our Unit 3 study guide review. So these are the things on your study guide. These are the things that you need to know how to do to have success on your test tomorrow. If you can do these things, you're going to be good, okay? So we're starting off with what we have been working on. And what we have been working on lately in class are these fractions, tenths and hundredths. So this is what we had on our review slide today too. 3 tenths plus 5 hundredths. What do we need to do, Gabe?
We need to add a 0 to the 3 tenths.
We need to do something to this 3 tenths. And you said we need to add a 0. So you want to add a 0 here.
Yeah. And a 0 beside the 3.
And you want to add a 0 here. Where do those zeros come from? How do we get those zeros there? Help him, Jake.
From doing the common denominator.
And how do we, and you're right. We need to do that. We need to multiply.
10 times 10.
It's 10 times 10 equals 100.
And whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top, so 3 times 10 equals 30.
Can anyone tell me where this here comes from? What is this? This is a fraction, 10 tenths. Why do we do 10 tenths? What's the purpose of that? Vlad?
It's because, it's, it has the same number on the top and bottom.
And when it has the same number on the top and the bottom, that means that this fraction right here, this fraction that we have here is the same as the number 1. And anytime we multiply something times 1, do we change the value of the number?
No.
Do we change the size of the piece?
No.
No. There have been other classes where I have been saying things like this. What number is this?
7.
What's the value of that number? 7. Oh, you're like, 7? Yes. Yes. What's the value of this?
7.
What's the value of this?
7.
What's the value of this?
7.
My value of this?
7.
All of these things have the same value. Do they look the same? No. Do they sound the same? No. They look very different. Just like 3 tenths and 30 hundredths have the same value. They are the same size. They mean the same thing. They're the same amount. They have the same value. I think I had that conversation heavily with another class, but I wanted to make sure I got that on a video so that you guys would have it too. So now that we have done this here, we have gotten our common denominator. Now, what are we able to do? What are we able to do, Lucia?
We're able to add all of them together.
We're able to add them together. And so what am I going to add?
We're going to add 30 plus 5, which equals 3,500.
Yay.
And the denominator stays the same because?
Whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top.
Wait, no.
Well, yes, whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top, but that doesn't have anything to do with why the denominator stays the same.
Because it's your total. Their total amount.
Because your denominator is your total amount of equal parts. That's what you're working with. You're working with hundredths. You got to get this tenth to be a hundredth. You're working with hundredths. Very good. Okay. On the video, for the purpose of our video recording, I'm going to go, okay, that's fine. I'm going to go through one of each of these. So you understand what I'm saying? We're doing some practice. I'm just going to go through one of each of these. So let's talk about this. It says, find the value of each expression. For letter A, this should be quick. Why should A be quick? David?
Because none of them are a 10.
None of them are a 10. They already all have a common denominator. So we don't really have much we have to do, right? What's the value here? Let's just do this one real quick. Riley?
The value is 46.
46.
Hundredths.
Oh, 46. Is it important for you to include those hundredths?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's the amount that you need to, it's the total amount.
Right. If I just wrote the number 46, that's 46 whole things. And we are working with
46
hundredths, which are teeny tiny little pieces, right? Very good.
That's almost.
Excellent.
That's almost gonna have.
And if you have 46,
You're right, it
you have to have 46. 46. To have a whole number is 46, wouldn't you?
Well, this is a whole number
Yeah.
here. But if you wanted to have one, if you had 46,
Then you'd have to have
that'd be one. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Letter B. What are we going to do to these fractions here for letter B? We just did this up on number 1. What are we going to do here? Kyrie?
We're going to multiply the tenths by 10 to make hundredths. And
So you're saying we need to do this twice. Is that true?
yes, because there's two numbers. So I'm trying to explain this.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
So there's 4 tenths and there's 3 tenths. Well, there's 2 different tenths.
And so we need to get those both to be
100.
hundredths. Excellent. And we're going to do that by doing 10 times 10, which is what you said. Perfect. So
And
now, you guys wanted to do this earlier and it didn't fit, but now it fits. Now, whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. So we did a 10 times 10. Now what are we going to do? Up
We're
here.
going to multiply the numerators by 10.
Is it okay, you guys, if I do these at if I do these at the same time?
Yeah.
Can I do that? Is it fine?
No.
Yeah. So then 4 times 10 equals
40.
40. 3 times 10 equals 30. And so this becomes a 40 hundredths. This becomes a 30 hundredths. Our answer becomes, Kyrie?
88 hundredths.
88 hundredths. Who agrees with Kyrie? Hands all over town. Very good. Very nice. So this is the front page of your study guide. This is how you complete these things. I suggest maybe like screenshots. Of course, you don't really need screenshots. And you want to know why?
That's cheating.
Why? Well, not if you're studying. You know why you don't need a screenshot?
You're going to have the answer key.
Ta-da!
Miss Megan.
Right in your study guide packet, you have all these answers. Look here. I tried to make all kinds of notes here. I'm like, find the common denominator. Look here, 3 tenths. This is what we did, right? 30 hundredths. These things are common. That gives you 35 hundredths. This is your answer right here. C, D, and E. I tried to make this as much detailed as possible while still making it make sense. Same for number 2. Whoopsie. Find the common denominator. See, and I did 19 plus 1. I did these two first. That equals 20. Then 20 hundredths plus 26 equals 46 hundredths. So I tried to break it down for you the best I could. Okay? You already have this answer key with you. We're just going over this together so that you can have success tomorrow. I want to have a successful day tomorrow. Unit 3 study guide, page 2. Now, this here, see at the bottom where it says section A? The second page is section A. This has been a while since we did this. So, let's make sure we know what we're doing here. I think we do, but let's make sure. Do you guys just have an answer for this right now?
Yeah.
Say it out loud.
5 8.
Why is it? Why you guys look at me like 5 8, lady? What are you talking about? It's 5 8. It's so easy. 5 8.
It's 5 times.
Why? Tell me if it's so easy. I want it to be so easy, by the way. So easy is my goal. So this is all good things. All good things. Sophia Schweer, why is it so easy?
Because 5 times 1, anything times 1 equals itself.
Yes.
And you have to keep the same denominator.
5 times what?
I said you have to keep the same.
You have to keep the same denominator. You're right. 5 8. Now, for the sake of the review, we're gonna go over this in detail because this is a study guide review, right? When I say your eyes should be up here, if your eyes are not up here, you're gonna have to go back and watch the video. 5 times. When I see that X, am I gonna say times?
No.
What am I gonna say?
Groups of.
Groups of. 5 groups of. 5 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 1/8. 1/8 in each group. And if I count these 8s, I have 1/8, 2 8s, 3 8s, 4 8s, 5 8s. Therefore, my answer is 5 8. Now, so that's like super duper easy. 5 times 1/8. Unit fraction always has a numerator of 1. So that's super duper easy, right? Yes.
Or you could have just done it wasn't it because the denominator is 8 instead of 5.
Yeah, but here's going to be you want to do an error analysis real quick? Let's do an error analysis real quick. Let me say that my answer is this. I guarantee you people are going to think that's the right answer. What's the error? Let's do an error analysis. What did we do wrong? What did we mess up, Gabe?
You change the size of the piece.
We had 8ths, but then we changed it to 40ths. We're allowed to change the size of the piece as long as whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. We didn't do that here. We changed the size of the piece, okay? So this is an error. We're going to erase the error. Let's talk about E. Because now E is a little bit trickier. Because when we had a unit fraction, a 1 in the numerator spot, that's super duper easy. Now we don't have that. Someone read this to me in the way that I want to hear it. Read this to me in the way I want to hear it. Lucia.
2 groups of 6 fifths.
2 groups of
6 fifths.
6 fifths. Very good. Which means my answer is going to be 12 fifths. 2 times 6 is 12. And our numerator stays the same because we're not changing the size of the piece. We're not changing the size of the piece. You guys feel okay about number 2?
Yeah.
Move on to number 3?
Yeah.
You're going to be able to go back and watch this recording. And you also have the answer key. What's your study guide?
I don't have a study guide either.
We'll get it before you go. Draw a diagram showing 4 times 2/3. Draw a diagram showing 4 times 2/3. What do you want? Jillian, can you help me?
So 4 times 2/3, we would draw 4 boxes and we would split them into 3.
Okay. Can I do rectangles?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Each is in thirds. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Each is in thirds. What do you want next?
And then shade
2 on each. 2 on each. Now what do we have? Do we have a proper diagram?
Yeah.
Is this 4 groups with 2/3 in each group?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, check. No. Use the diagram to calculate 4 times 2/3, Riley.
It would be 8/3.
How do you know?
Because if you use the diagram and you add all those together, it'll get you 8/3.
Each one of these little boxes is 1/3, right?
Mhm.
So 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7/3, 8/3. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Who agrees with Riley? You should. She's right.
We could cut down the rows, and it would be 4 in each one.
4 in this row. So he's saying you could count 4 in this here, 4 in this here. That's 8, 8. And then we got these things cut into thirds. That's 8/3, right? Very good.
Or you could have circles. You could use circles.
We could do 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 2/3. Yes?
Yes.
Equals 8/3. Are all of these diagrams acceptable?
Yep.
Yes. What about this diagram? Are you fine with what I got so far?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
All right. So as we travel down here, you will see I tried to, so for the top one, select all the expressions that are equivalent to 8/5. I selected the ones here that are equivalent to 8/5. I wrote on there, say groups of instead of times to remind you, to help you understand what you're saying. And then as we go down, I tried to draw multiple diagrams here of what I would like for this to look like. And I even gave you an extra one right now with the circles, right? Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. 2/3 of the way done. Here we go. Section B. Select all expressions that are equivalent to 5/8. A, we have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. Is that it?
Yes.
Is B it?
No.
Why? What is B equivalent to? David?
7/8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not B. C?
Yes.
Yes.
2, 3, 2, 4, 5. D?
Yes.
E?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. 3 plus 2 is
No.
Wait,
No.
What's the problem? Raise your hand to speak, please. First we said yes, then we said no, then we said yes, then we started arguing. What's the problem, Danica?
Don't have common denominators.
We cannot add fifths and thirds together. If I add fifths and thirds, that does not magically give me eighths. If I've got 3/5, so if I've got 3/5 and 2/3, these are fifths and thirds. 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/3. It's not my best drawing. I know. I never told you. I never claimed to be an artist.
They're Dorito chips.
Oh, that looks like a 5.
They believe.
Is that a third?
Third. If I add 1/3, 1, 2, 3/5, and 2/3, that does not magically create eighths.
Or 15.
That does not, that does not magically create eighths. I cannot add. So. Could I add these things together if I found a common denominator? Yes. But that's not what they want. They want to know, does this expression here equal 5/8? And the answer to that question is no. Very good. The answer to that question is no.
Simple.
All right. And the last question on our study guide says, find the value of each expression. Explain or show your reasoning. Use the number line if it is helpful. So let's do both of these because they both address different skills. So let's do both of them together for our recording. And then we will be good, and you guys can do some practice on your own. 3 2/5 plus 4/5. What should I do first? What should I do first? David?
Turn the three holes into a 15/5 and then add 2/5.
David wants to turn this 3 holes into 15/5. Put the 2 holes with it. It's going to give you 17/5. You allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then
Because each of these, hold on, we got to explain how you did that. Each of these 3 holes are cut into what?
Fifths.
Cut into fifths. So that's where we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's where we get 15/5 equaling the same as 3 holes. Then you add this 2/5 to the 15, and that gets you 17. So 17/5 plus 4/5 equals
21/5.
good job. 21/5. Now, how can we take this here and plot it on the number line? We're going to take the 3 2/5 and we're going to put it right here. Is that fine?
Mhm.
1, 1, 2, 3, 2/5. And then how many fifths are we going to add, Allie?
4.
We're going to add 4/5. And that's going to land us on 21/5 or
4 and 1/5.
4 and 1/5. That's right. 4 and 1/5. You can do that two separate ways. 2 separate ways. Now, let's do this here. This subtraction is when it gets tricky. Your practice poster on your daily review slide has been addressing this for a long time. I've been asking you to practice this a lot lately, right?
Mhm.
Subtracting from a whole number when you don't have enough eighths. What's your answer going to be, everyone?
1 and 7/8.
Whoa, different answers. Let's prove ourselves. Who wants to prove it? Who wants to prove it? Allie?
Okay, so you're gonna go to the 2.
You want me to do it on the number line? Sure.
And then you're just gonna go back to 1.
1/8.
Which is 15/8. Yeah.
15/8. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not
Yes.
2 holes. Some
Or
people
1
are thinking
7/8.
It's 1 hole.
Okay.
So
7.
yeah, some
No.
people are thinking it's
You're
1
talking too fast. They can't hear what you're saying.
I said we're 1 and 7/8.
Or one whole thing. Yes? Yeah. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 1 and 7/8. I will tell you, on your test tomorrow, which I have right here in front of me, there are no number lines. So you're going to have to do your own. You're going to have to do your own number line if you want it, which is fine. Not worried about that. Okay? So here's how you do your addition and subtraction. Here is your answer key. I tried to be very detailed. See there? I tried to give you alternate ways of doing it. So like or use the number line or. Place first number and then go up or down based on the operation. So here you're going down, here you're going up. You have addition and subtraction, correct?
Yeah.
I will tell you, on tomorrow's test, you have one big word problem. This word problem, I'll just read it to you. It says, Noah's favorite song Noah's favorite song is 5 1/6 minutes long. Jada's favorite song is 2 5/6 minutes long. Here are the questions. How many minutes does it take to listen to Noah's favorite song and Jada's favorite song? So you're going to have to do what to these two numbers? Add them. That's part A. Part B says, how many minutes longer is Noah's favorite song than Jada's favorite song? So what are you going to have to do to these two things? Subtract them. Then it says, letter C, that's the second part. Third part says, Jada says she can listen to her song 2 times in the same amount of time it takes Noah to listen to his song once. She says, I can do mine 2 times in the amount of time it takes you to do yours 1 time. So what are you going to have to do? What are you going to do, Kaden? Add what?
2 5 6 plus 2 5 6 6.
And then you're going to have to...
I was thinking that you were doing multiplication, and then I was thinking...
You're going to do 2 5/6 times...
2.
Times 2? You can do that.
And see if she was right. And
Then you're going to have to compare,
yeah.
right? That's right. Okay, guys. That is the conclusion of what I want to go over with you for your study guide. You should have this study guide in your expandable folder. If you do not have it, I need you to see me so that you can get it. It is my expectation that you study for this test tonight so that when you come in here tomorrow, you are ready to hustle through this and do a good job. I do not want to have students who have to be doing pages upon pages upon pages of corrections. Do it right the first time, and then you don't have to do pages upon pages upon pages of corrections. Deal?
Yes.
All right. This concludes our recording. We love you very much. Thank you so much for watching. Have a